Everyone, remain calm.
Yeah, that's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming.
Somebody talk to me! What is happening?
Welcome to Jurassic World.
You're listening to the Jurassic Park Podcast.
You want to consult here or in my bungalow? Hold on to your butts.
Well, we're back.
Hello and welcome to the 126th episode of the Jurassic Park Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Jost, and we are here to discuss all things Jurassic Park. In this episode, we have some news that you may or may not have heard about already. Folks, that 6-second clip, my God, that was awesome. Then we present episode 11 of Extinction Level Jurassic Park from Argent Boss. Last time we learned more about Site B's progression and the aviary on the island, but in store for us this week, we have some really cool details on the building blocks of life that may coincidentally have something to do with a young raptor. But of course, after Extinction Level, I'll be giving my thoughts on episode 11. There will certainly be a lot to uncover, so stay tuned for that. And rounding out the episode, we have our annual Jurassic Holiday Gift Guide with myself and Aaron Beyer. Now we're gonna dive into our 5 or so favorite items of this holiday season, so maybe you can pick some of these up yourselves or for somebody else, or just to even support some really awesome artists. Don't miss all the links to these items in our show notes. At the end of the segment, we also take a look at some of the cool items that you are all looking forward to this holiday season as well. But since we're on the topic of gifts, just a heads up for any collecting fans or anybody out there looking to pick up a cool gift, J Jurassic will have his Dilophosaurus Venom on sale for the holiday season. It's been a really hot item over the years. Every time that this thing goes on sale, it sells out pretty quick. So make sure to check out his Etsy page, Chaos Customs, that's Chaos with a Z. He also has a bunch of really cool prints to choose from, Blue and Rexy, Raptor paintings, Indominus Crash McCreary style paintings, Dino Study prints, and even more Rex paintings. He's gonna have a ton of stuff posted soon, so don't miss it. I'll include all the links in our show notes. The last thing I wanted to mention before we get into the show, don't miss your chance to submit a voicemail, email, or MP3 for the upcoming Jurassic Mailbag segment coming up next week. Call 732-825-7763 to leave us a voicemail, and we'll play that on the show. You can also just use your voice memo app on your phone, record a message, and email it to us, or you can head to our website and fill out our contact form to send us a message directly. We love playing all your voicemails, your MP3s, and of course reading all your awesome emails. If you have any thoughts on the Raptor and Owen video that Colin Trevorrow posted, or some holiday thoughts for us, keep them coming in, and we'll make sure to get to as many as we can next week. Alright, well, as you just heard, this is a packed episode, so why don't we get things started off with a bit of Jurassic news from around the world.
18 minutes and your company catches up on 10 years of research.
Access me program. Access me security.
These pictures were taken in hospital in Costa Rica 48 hours ago.
I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but look.
Boy, we hate being right all the time.
Today, I guarantee it.
Well, this one doesn't really need much introduction. You probably heard it on our special update episode, or you've seen the video floating around, but Colin Trevorrow uploaded a video, a 6-second clip of Owen Grady from Jurassic World and a baby velociraptor, which many can assume is either Blue or Blue's baby. It's still a debate that's up in the air, depending on how you look at the scene. There's a lot of context clues that make you think one way, but also could make you think another way. It's up in the air, but we do have this awesome clip to go over and dive over so many times, and me and J Jurassic actually did a full episode on it already, so if you haven't seen that, go check your feed, re-download that, and take a listen. Now, aside from the debate as to whether this is a flashback or something from the timeline in Fallen Kingdom, we do have the debate of whether this is CGI or an animatronic. Well, that debate may be over now via a tweet from Art of VFX, and also on their website, artofvfx.com. There's a quick article-ish kind of thing. It states that the VFX are made by Industrial Light and Magic, Invisible, and one of us, the VFX supervisor, Oliver Cubbage. And the production VFX supervisor is David Vickery. So that's a bit of a clue there as to whether this is a VHS. That's not it. It's not a VHS tape, that's for sure. It's VFX, CGI, or an animatronic. I was pretty set on this thing being an animatronic. I loved the way it looked. I thought it, either way, whether it's animatronic or CGI, it looks amazing. But I just loved the way that he interacted with it, and I thought it kind of looked real, in a sense physical, but I guess that's not the case. Either way, it's awesome to see that. This debate has sparked, and we are not sure. It's that good that we are not sure whether it's something physical or something, you know, imaginary that's been created out of nothing. So really awesome to find out either way. I've seen a lot of people actually talking about whether this is a spoiler or not, this clip that was shown by Colin Trevorrow, and I guess I'd take a second here just to review our spoiler stance here on the podcast. And we are not considering this a spoiler by any means. It's something that's officially released in some capacity via the director of Jurassic World, and he's a producer now on the Fallen Kingdom film. So anything that's released via somebody that produces or directs or anything like that, it's safe to say that it's not a spoiler in our eyes. We're going to discuss it. Anything that's basically out in the open, publicly and officially, is safe to discuss here. So hopefully you don't have any problem with that. If there is, you know, I guess maybe tune out, don't listen. But it's safe stuff. It's not anything that's gonna spoil a film. You know, this 6-second clip is not spoiling anything. You know, I guess if you want to remain perfectly clean without knowing absolutely anything about the movie, how have you listened to this so far? You just stop listening, right? I mean, don't listen. So anyway, that's our spoiler policy coming up when anything gets released, whether it's trailers or, you know, news from directors or cast members, even stuff like that. We'll probably be discussing it, but nothing too detailed, nothing, you know, groundbreaking or, you know, anything that's going to spoil anything heavily. So don't worry, we'll keep it safe here, and keep listening if you want to.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
And now let's dive into episode 11 of Extinction Level Jurassic Park.
Previously on Extinction Level Jurassic Park.
Sir, do you see this?
Hail them!
Unidentified aircraft approaching Isla Sorna. They broke communication.
Follow their signal.
Sir, they landed on the airstrip, but it appears they took off again. I think they may have crashed.
Vic, it seems they crashed somewhere north of the landing strip.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Isla Sorna.
Velociraptors.
Their behavior reminds me of rivaling lion prides.
That might just be exactly what it is we're seeing here.
Sir, we have a situation.
I will be with you again shortly.
Please, follow me.
Episode 11. Versions and Feathers. Henry Wu, Sarah and Tim enter the worker building at an office where Dr. Gerald Jerry Harding, 66 years old, looks up from his book on the desk he was sitting behind. With not too much daylight shining through two small windows on one side, the room is lighted by TL lights hanging from the ceiling. Jerry Harding looks sad and tired, but at the sight of Sarah he lights up a little.
Ah, Sarah my dear, how are you? I'm so happy to see you.
Happy to see you too, Dad. Jess says hi.
They hug each other warmly.
Jerry, you may remember Tim Murphy, Hammond's grandson?
Tim walks towards Jerry Harding and they shake hands. Yeah, we met at a trike. Beautiful creature, even though she was sick.
Ah, yes. My, you're all grown up now.
Did you ever find out what was wrong with her?
Well, yes. Dr. Sattler and I believed she had swallowed the berries we found whenever she needed to renew her gastroliths or stomach stones. That would also explain the periodic return of their illnesses.
But our issues here are more complicated than berries, I'm afraid. Come on, let's see the animals. But I must warn you, you may not like what you're about to see.
They follow Henry Wu to the next room, through another door on the far end of the office, which leads to a short, soundproofed hallway, just large enough for this group of 4. The other end of the short hallway leads into another gloomy room with a lot of noises, chittering grunts and heavy breathing. Animals. They walk through the room, walking past the cages, in which mostly small or young animals are kept. 6 consanguinates, 2 young Pachycephalosaurus, 2 young Triceratops, 6 young Gallimimus, and 1 wounded young Stegosaurus. Another flash of memory passes through Sarah's mind. She stops and looks inside the cage, crouched down on her knees. A strong sense of sadness fills her, feeling sorry for the animal.
They're sick, and we're trying to find the cure.
They walk past another cage, which at first sight to Tim seemed empty. But then he notices the greenish glow of cat-like eyes at the far end staring back at him. Hearing a sound like that of a purring cat or a soft snarl, he leans in closer. Then a brown young velociraptor jumps forward and slams against the front of the cage. Startled, Tim falls back on his butt, scrambling backwards. You're keeping velociraptors in here?
Don't worry, Tim, this one's still young. 6 months. We need to examine them too.
Is it sick too?
No, strangely enough, this version of raptor is the only one that remains unaffected by the prion disease so far, which is why we need to examine them too. See if we can find out what makes them immune.
This version?
The original line, the ones we deployed on Nubla. Because of their aggression, we moved them to an unattractive pen. So, backed up by Muldoon, John gave me the green light to create a less aggressive version to replace them. And we succeeded. But just before we evacuated, we noticed a side effect, an even higher intellect.
So, you have another version of velociraptors, even smarter?
Yes, and less aggressive, Tim. But as it turned out, that version is also vulnerable to the prion disease, while our first is still immune.
Have you made many different versions of the other dinosaurs as well?
Yes, of course. Most of the first batches simply didn't contain any life at all.
This sparks a scientific question in Tim's mind. I recently read in National Geographic of dinosaurs possibly being feathered. It reminded me of Dr. Grant suggesting they turned into birds, but we have proof right here they didn't have feathers, right? Tim turns, shaken, to look at the cage, missing to see that Henry Wu turns uncomfortable, thinking for a moment before he decides on the answer to give.
You must understand that during the late 80s, there was no question about feathers. Dinosaurs didn't have them. Any form of plumage could have been caused by adding the wrong DNA to fill in sequence gaps. We never saved failed attempts to create life once we succeeded with the species, and we don't...
Starting to say they don't know for sure the outcome of this new debate, he stopped, thinking he probably had said enough, if not too much already. Sarah, who did notice Wu's uncomfortable moment, cuts in while Henry pauses.
So, you're saying they did have feathers?
I'm simply saying none of our viable embryos ever did. But let me walk you to your quarters for the weekend. You would probably like to get refreshed after your long journey.
Sarah nods, understanding this will be all they'll get about this subject, and Tim is eager to leave the presence of velociraptors too, young as they may be. With one last look back at the cages, he is the first to follow Dr. Wu through the door at the back of the animal quarters, leading outside, where Henry Wu continues his explanation as they walk towards another building, the lodge.
The animals are still engineered, created from old dinosaur DNA, and that of contemporary species of lizards, birds, amphibians. So you make a few mistakes, one of which could be the disease we're battling here now, but I'm confident the dinosaurs of Jurassic Park are close to the real thing.
Not leaving long silences to avoid interruption, Wu continues speaking, remembering.
Ha! The party we threw when our first egg hatched, the Parasaurolophus. Beautiful. Even so, she only got to live for a few weeks, but it really encouraged us. We'd achieved the impossible, recreating a living organism which had been extinct for millions of years. Did you know we're actually close now to getting DNA from preserved dinosaur bones? That way it'll be possible to target specific species, like, for example, more marine animals.
Marine animals?
Did that Parasaurolophus die from the disease you said you were battling?
Who's to say? I'm not really sure for her, our first. The raptors were actually the first to survive infancy. We did discover a few bugs later on, some larger sauropods. An illness causing early death. Things messed up with the intestines. Some of the compies got infected by some kind of rabies. Dental issues with the T-Rex. You wouldn't believe the issues we had to solve, sometimes using methods that might be considered controversial. But what would you expect with a new species from an old world? Of course, we would get to deal with extreme challenges. Some solutions may even benefit ourselves, albeit somewhere in the future. And when traces of the disease were found on that girl that got bitten, we had to step in.
Girl?
What girl?
In 97, that girl? You mean that little girl got infected?
I'm sorry, I should have known Mr. Masrani would not have told you about what we're doing here exactly.
No, he did not.
Tim shakes his head to confirm he also doesn't know too much.
Then let me explain while we eat.
In the meantime, they arrived at the lodge building.
Lunch should be ready in about 30 minutes in the break room. You can refresh here first.
Wanting to know more, but also happy to be able to refresh, they accepted, Wu showed them the doors to their simple quarters for the weekend, none of which could be locked. And after showing them the way to the break room, where he'd meet them in half an hour's time, Wu parted ways with them. In this episode you heard Jurassic Unicast Stephen Hurrell as Gary Harding, the Bryce Dallas Howard Network Jennifer Terk as Sarah Harding, and Ross Lane as Henry Wu. Until the next episode of Extinction Level Jurassic Park.
Alright everybody, that was episode 11 of Extinction Level Jurassic Park. That one was called Versions and Feathers. And as soon as I heard that, I got really excited. You know, I love anything that has to do with these raptors and the story behind, you know, how these things were created. We got that awesome battle in a few episodes ago between the two different Sorna packs, which was really awesome to see them interact. And now we get a lot more backstory on how these dinosaurs are created and the problems that go along with that. And even some interesting details about, you know, young raptors that is very well timed, Arjun. I don't know if you did that on purpose or not, but that was perfect. You know, that fit the ongoing theme here this week, and I'm happy you did that, you know, unintentionally or not. But let's start off here. We first get a glimpse of, you know, Henry, Sarah, and Tim visiting Jerry Harding. An interesting tidbit is that Sarah says, Jess says hi. Now, if you didn't catch that one, that was Jess from Jurassic Park the game, and she is the stepsister, I believe, of Sarah Harding and the daughter of Jerry. So that's a really cool touch there. Tim also gets reintroduced to Harding, and he asks about the sick trike and, you know, what was it that made the thing sick, and they talk about the West Indian lilacs and the berries making the sick, the sick trike, the other way around, trike sick. Upon doing that, they enter a room full of dinosaur cages, and it seems like they're all sick, something wrong with them all. And this has been an ongoing plot point that we've heard about, is dinosaurs getting sick. But why, really? We don't really know yet, I don't think. And this is something really interesting here, is Tim sees a young velociraptor, as I mentioned before, in a cage at the end of the room. And I guess it scares him so much that it knocks him on his butt. This is just hilarious. And he's obviously shaken from the situation that he's being put in, surrounded by all these dinosaurs, especially this raptor. And, you know, he's just scared being in the presence of a raptor once again. Now, we get to learn that this raptor is 6 months old. Kind of lines up with what we saw this week, this past week from Colin Trevorrow. So we got something to visualize at least, right? I mean, we have something in mind when we're talking about this in the episode here. And we find out that this is, I guess, an original strain of raptor. And I guess this raptor is not sick because it's immune. So that's really, really awesome, and I guess they're trying to examine it to find out why. Now, we also learn a little bit of an interesting detail from earlier, is that John Hammond gave Wu the go-ahead to create less aggressive versions, ones that are even smarter, actually, but less aggressive. So I guess they learned from those raptors in the first park. You know, I guess this is all around that time in the first park. You know, they saw how aggressive these things were, so John gave them the go-ahead to create something less aggressive but smarter. And I guess those ones were vulnerable to the strain, so that's an interesting detail there. Tim, of course, like any of us, asks about feathered dinosaurs. And, you know, Dr. Wu, he kind of gives this half answer in a way about DNA, sequence gaps, but stops. I feel like he's feeling like he's saying a little bit too much, like there's something he's holding back. I'm not too sure, but he does actually go into quite a bit more detail, so it doesn't seem like he's holding back too much. He does try to change the subject at one point and lead them to their quarters where they're staying for the weekend, but he does, like I said, he continues talking about their mix of DNA, the possibility of making mistakes and all that as they're trying out new DNA sequences, but this could potentially cause this, I guess, disease that they're battling. But he does kind of, I guess, try to confirm to Tim that they're pretty confident that they're creating dinosaurs that are as close to the real thing as possible. Wu goes on to mention, you know, the first hatchling for Jurassic Park was a Parasaurolophus, so that's really cool. Not cool part is it only lived for a few weeks, so I guess they were still, testing their boundaries, making sure they get things right. And they are also apparently getting close to finding DNA within dinosaur bones, getting them closer, I guess, to creating different species. And interestingly enough, he mentions marine animals, so it's kind of walking them towards the route of Jurassic World, that they'll be able to create more than just dinosaurs and kind of branch out a little bit. He also mentions, there's so many details here, it's crazy, that's why I had to listen to this a bunch of times, but Wu also mentions that the first to survive infancy was the raptors. He talked about dinos and the fact that so many of them were dying initially from intestinal issues, early deaths, obviously, rabies-like diseases. So yeah, it's crazy, all these details that we're getting here. I love all these hard facts that we're getting about the start of the park and the problems that they had, I guess, behind the scenes. When we see Jurassic Park, everything is so crisp and clean and perfect and no issues, right? Until stuff falls apart. But aside from that, we feel like everything is perfect. But it looks like they at least had some tough roads ahead of them before getting to that point. Dr. Wu does actually confirm to them that Kathy Bowman from The Lost World, the little girl, she contracted the disease that's, I guess, all part of these, the dinosaurs here getting sick, and it's from being bit by these compies. And the group that's talking with them is very shocked to learn, they hadn't found out about these issues before, or really why they're here. So, they were kind of angry about that. But that's basically where we leave off. It was a really interesting episode, tons of details. I'd certainly suggest listening to this one a few times just to pick up on all those little minute details that he throws in here so perfectly to kind of quench your thirst for all these different questions you've had throughout the years. So thanks again, Arjun. Obviously in this episode he played Tim. Jerry Harding, played by Steve Hurl, as he mentioned here. I think Arjun mentioned all these. Ross Lane played Henry Wu, Jennifer Tarek, and obviously music by John Williams. Nothing too surprising there. Just, as always, some really great picks from Arjun for the music. If you guys are liking this ongoing series, let him know. He's at BOS_ARJAN on Twitter, or also his Extinction Level one, which is at Extinction LVLJP. Go let him know how much you like it and give some thoughts on where you think this series is going. And stay tuned in a few weeks for episode 12 of Extinction Level Jurassic Park.
Where's Aunt Claire?
7 o'clock tomorrow night on the East Dock. Make sure he gets it right.
But it's alive! And everyone on the planet's going to line up to appreciate it and everything done.
People would say they could see the fleas. Oh, I could see the fleas. Mommy, can't you see the fleas?
Are these characters autoerotic?
No.
Come on!
Thanksgiving is over here in the States, which means it's time to get serious about Christmas and the upcoming holidays. But most of all, of course, shopping and thinking about all the items that we want to put on our lists for this holiday. So to guide us through the insane amount of items that are available to Jurassic fans these days, I brought on my friend and, of course, contributor here to the podcast, Aaron Beyer. How's it going, dude?
It's going good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm overwhelmed with the amount of things that are available now. Even though we're in between movies at the moment, I still think there's just so much stuff, whether it's fan created or just, officially licensed stuff. There's actually a ton for Jurassic Park fans to enjoy.
Yeah, it was actually nice. There was a lot of stuff to choose from, like the older franchise and like this newer reboot stuff. It was definitely really interesting this time around. I feel like there wasn't a lot of brand spanking new releases that were very affordable, like announced this year. We've got a bunch of stuff coming next year, but there was definitely some stuff, like, I don't want to say leftover, but they're still making stuff featuring like Jurassic World and even Jurassic Park with the 25th anniversary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of my items in my list here are mostly, I would say, mostly fan created. So I think fans are the best people to go to during these times when there's not a ton of officially licensed stuff, or we're in between that stuff. So the fans are the people that just keep on continuing to create stuff. And you know, I gotta say, I feel like the Jurassic Park community is a creative bunch, and there's endless amounts of stuff that I find, you know, whether it's people tagging me and stuff, or I just come across it on a hashtag or something. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff, and I think we're gonna have a good time and suggest a lot of good stuff for people this coming season.
Cool. I'm excited that you have some like fan-made stuff, because a lot of mine is like licensed type stuff. So I think this will be like a nice mix for the people out there.
Definitely, yeah. Because like the licensed stuff, it's like easy buy stuff. You see it all the time, and you're like, I gotta get that. That's official, has the brand, the stamp on there. You know, you never know with some of the, you know, fan-created stuff. You're like, should I be buying that? I don't know, but I want to support these people because they're awesome, you know, artists and stuff. But you know, it's not official stuff, so I don't know if I'm allowed to do this or not. But it's always great stuff.
All right, so I'm gonna kick off with something licensed, something I'm going to say mid-price range, and that is the new Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom one-sheet poster, double-sided. I found that at movieposter.com. I believe it's a Canadian company, so all their prices are in Canadian, and let's see, it says here $62.49 Canadian, so you'll probably drop that by about 30% for US prices. But you know, it's the official teaser poster with that cool logo, that lava rock logo surrounded by the smoke and the sparks. It's got the Ian Malcolm quote, "Life finds a way." And I just think this is really neat, because I really appreciate that Universal is still releasing these single logo posters for the Jurassic fans. I'm sure later down the line we'll get a bunch of character posters and dinosaur posters as the movie comes out. But to me, this harkens back to the original 90s classic movies. And ideally, what I would like to do, I know in my place in California, I had room to put all 4 posters up in a row. Now it's getting to be, I'm in a new place in Toronto for the last couple of years, so I don't really have room for all of them. But one day I would like to have, you know, all, I'm going to say 6 posters, 7 if you include the Jurassic Park 3D poster, which is fairly similar to the classics. But yeah, I just think it's a really cool design. I'm happy that Universal is still releasing them. And I feel like if you're a huge Jurassic fan, maybe, you know, this, if you're a huge fan, this wouldn't be a gamble on price. But if you're like on the fence about how you might feel about the movie, you know, maybe hold off. But it's definitely a good thing to ask for the holidays.
Yeah, I guess that's a fair point. You know, we all assume we're going to love the movie, so it seems like an easy buy. But yeah, I guess if you just like end up hating it, that's really sad, first off. But I guess it's not something you'd want on your wall. But I agree. This is an awesome poster. And if you do have the other ones, it's like a perfect pickup. You got to get it.
Yeah, I just think it's really cool that, you know, like I said, that Universal keeps giving us these. And again, I'm excited to one day have both trilogies. Assuming that this new franchise is a trilogy, I'm excited to have both trilogies up on the wall. You know, almost wrapping around a room. I think that'd be really neat.
Yeah, one day. I don't actually, to be honest, I'm looking around like I don't remember, but yeah, I don't have any like the official posters. So I gotta get one. I gotta get on that, man.
You know, I think the only official poster I might have might be the Jurassic World one, and I did get it from movieposter.com. So I don't know if they do if they're reprints or if they're official. I know a lot of movie posters in the last few years because I was collecting them when I was working on films, but as they just got really expensive. Like I remember I worked on Avengers, and the poster, and that was a big deal, right? Because it was Avengers, right? It was the first time all these heroes had joined up, and my wife and I ended up getting the poster because we both worked on it, and it was like $80, and we were like, we can't keep this up. We work on way too many movies, and so it was like Avengers was like the last one. It was like, okay, this is a special movie. You know, it's expensive being the double-sided, being official, but then like, you know, Iron Man 3 was like, you know, the next one, and that IMAX poster was like $90. I was like, nope, I'm done. I work on way too many films to be able to keep up this this trend of getting all these posters. And so now I reserve that money for very special movies. And I think, to me, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom will be a special film.
Yeah. Oh, let's hope. I think it's going to be awesome. And it is a great poster. It really, I mean, it's simple, you know, and it's a good, you know, step up from the last one. So I like it.
Yeah, exactly. So, why don't you go next?
My first pick here, actually, it's kind of like 2 for 1 in a way. So this website, it's the celluloidandroid.com. If you go there, they actually have a lot of vehicle posters for different movies and iconic vehicles and stuff like that. I think there's a few more items on there too, but of course, a few items stood out to me. Well, I see here the DeLorean from Back to the Future. Great. There's a few other things here, but the main ones, of course, is the Jurassic Park Jeep and the Explorer tour vehicle. And they're really awesome prints. I think you can get them in basically any kind of size you want. They start from $11, so I think that was like an 8x10 or something. So that's really easy to swallow. Pick up a nice print for $11. It's kind of like half shot of a half front on shot of these two vehicles on 2 separate prints. But the cool part is they actually have like big letters, font and stuff in the background that has quotes from the movie. Kind of behind the vehicles in a way. And the Jeep one, with the iconic, it looks like gray and red here. And then it says, yeah, but John, if the Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down, the pirates don't eat the tourists. So, I mean, technically, I don't know why why they chose that quote. I mean, it doesn't really go with the vehicle that was said inside. I don't know why that's there, but it's a great quote. Maybe that's why. The other one,
it's a great quote from the movie, and I love the next quote on this one.
Yeah, and this one makes sense because it was said in this vehicle too. So God creates dinosaurs, God destroys dinosaurs, God creates man destroys God, man creates dinosaurs. So I love the style of these. They kind of look old and faded in a way, and the vehicles look realistic enough. You can tell they're drawn, but they do look pretty realistic. I love these designs. I don't know about you, but there's something I need to get on my wall, so please buy these for me. But yeah, I think everybody else will like them.
I don't think there's anything wrong with them looking like they're drawn.
No, not at all. No.
It's definitely a cool artistic style choice to do it this way, and I do love the words. I wish there was a third car or a third poster or something to have like a set of 3.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Or you know what? At least face them the opposite direction, so you can kind of put them side by side. That would have been
really cool.
Key thing for me, yeah. But as they are, they're really awesome. I think they're actually there. If you go to the next page, there is the same posters, but the background color changes, so you can choose, I guess, whether you want the blue or orangey, yellow, gold. I don't know what that is, but either way, it's really cool. You can pick a ton of sizes. The price goes up, obviously, but yeah, what I like to do is pick artwork and handmade things and things that people create on their own. So I think that's a good first step.
Yeah, these are really neat, and these kind of remind me of again, Mondo. I think I said it last year, where the artistic. What's the word I'm looking for? When people take artistic liberties with some of these properties and do really cool graphic design with it, it reminds me of Mondo, and that's kind of what this reminds me of. Maybe not as intricate as what Mondo might produce, but it's something just different and cool that not everyone is going to have if you're lucky enough to be able to hang this kind of stuff in your living room or whatever. Yeah, this is really cool. I think I'm definitely going to add this to my wish list this year.
Yeah, it's simple, clean, and it's a good design. So that's why I put it on my list.
So the next item on my list is something that I have actually fond memories of at the holidays. Every Christmas, my aunt would get us a calendar. And this year, they have the Jurassic Park 25th anniversary calendar. I actually already picked this one up. For some dumb reason, I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to find it eventually, and then realized it's we live in the digital age. Really, most people aren't buying calendars other than maybe for a collector reason. But I think this one's really cool. The inside has all kinds of images from the movie, and it's really neat that Universal is recognizing the 25th anniversary with some really cool memorabilia.
Oh yeah, I know. Just recently, a whole ton of stuff came out, and that's one of the things that's kind of been on everybody's list for a while. I don't know if posters are going out of, or what do you call it? Not posters, calendars are going out of style or not. I love calendars. I get them all the time. My sister got me one right here. It's actually an Instagram dog, which is hilarious. I love it. It's hilarious faces on this dog. I got like Disney ones upstairs. So yeah, I have like a bunch of them all over the place, and hang them in different rooms if you need to. And why not have a Jurassic one?
Yeah, absolutely. I just, you know what it is? I don't think I have the heart to write in this Jurassic one.
No.
Maybe I'll either get like a duplicate, or I was at the store the other day and there's Justice League now, and there's Wonder Woman from back in the summer. Maybe I don't mind writing in something like that, but Jurassic, man, I don't know. I just don't know if I got the heart to write in it.
You know, I never do. I never do. We have actually the one we have upstairs has no spots to even write. It's not even like a normal calendar. It's essentially just artwork with numbers on the bottom.
That's awesome. That's the way to do it.
That's the kind of calendar I like, and especially if it has cool scenes from the movie and whatnot, that's a good one to pick up.
Yeah, absolutely. So what else do you got?
All right, so I got this is a really recent one I found online. This dude posted it online. I came across it, and I just fell in love with this art print. It's from Tom Ryan Studios, and it's I don't know how to describe it perfectly, but it's a screen printed poster. It looks like it's 18 by 24, so it's a decent size, and it's really, really awesome. It's got layers of color, and I think that's where the screen print comes in, and so there's it's easy to describe, actually. It's the scene from Jurassic Park where the T-Rex is chasing the Jeep. And at this moment in the poster, the Jeep had just broken through the tree. And in the poster, you can actually see Muldoon, Ellie. I think, I can't tell if I scroll over this, maybe it'll enlarge or something. But I think Malcolm's in there somewhere. I just can't see him at the moment. I see his hand waving right there. But yeah, it's really awesome. It's from in front of the Jeep and everything, so you're kind of watching it come towards you. Has some movie credits and stuff on the bottom, Jurassic Park logo up top, a lot of trees and whatnot. It's a really awesome poster. I absolutely love it. It's kind of cartoony in a way, but I think it's perfect.
Yeah, it's got a really cool artistic style. A buddy of mine worked on this shot for the 3D version of the film, and if I was a little closer to this friend, I might drop this money to get this poster for him. But it still is really cool. It's something it's something I would definitely pick up for my office. As a fan. Again, it goes back to Mondo not being the only people doing art prints like this, or other high-end sellers. It's just fans out there doing really cool artwork, and it's cool to appreciate all that stuff.
Yeah, I haven't actually loved a lot of Mondo's work recently. I feel like they've been kind of taking things that have already been created and just kind of laying over them or repainting it. It doesn't look as good as I'd want it to look. So I tend to reach out to these fans and find great art. And I know this one's limited. What did he? I noticed on his Instagram. I think he only made 50 of them. They're hand signed, hand numbered, and they're $50. So it's a pretty obtainable price there. It's not too bad. But yeah, it's made by somebody with heart and effort put into it. Something he really wanted to create. So I think it's an easy pickup.
Yeah, that's really cool. You mentioned he has he has his heart in it, which I think is really refreshing today to see. People making these things for fans because they are fans, rather than Jurassic Park it's back in the limelight with the Jurassic World franchise, and so some of this, a lot of the memorabilia that's out there now, or the collectibles, are just made to get your money. They're just made to kind of prey on us a little bit as fans, and I think. When someone goes to puts the care in to create something handmade and then only does a limited run and basically is look, this is for the hardcore fans out there, and the first 50 hardcore fans are going to be able to get one of these. I think that's really neat.
Yeah, and so like he said, it's only 50 people. So, and I know he's been selling these at Comic-Cons and stuff like that. So I don't know what the number is right now, but head to this website. It's on Etsy. It's his Etsy. So I'll put a link in our show notes along with everything else that we talk about here today. So rush out, get this thing, pick it up for somebody or yourself or whatever. Put it on your list. Tell somebody to get it for you.
The next thing on my list is something that actually came out when Jurassic World came out a few years back. But it's the Jurassic World Edition Monopoly board game. And I just thought this was an interesting thing. The price is still relatively low. It's only $30 on Amazon. I think this is it's a weird thing to maybe ask for, a board game these days. I'm not a huge Monopoly fan. I think the last time I played Monopoly on a board was when the East Coast had that big power outage and we were like stuck in our homes for, this was like back in like 2003 or something like that. But having a Jurassic World edition is really cool. I know Monopoly has like all the different brands now and whatnot. But I bought one of these when they first came out, and I'm just kind of waiting for I'll open it and play it as soon as the power goes out for another 2 or 3 days. Monopoly to me is just one of those things that you do when this is not a knock, I swear, but Monopoly is one of those things you do when there's absolutely nothing else to do. Just because it's such a lengthy game and because it involves needing a lot of people to make it fun. So why not add to the fun and get the Jurassic World edition?
Yeah, it kind of is. It's definitely not a one-person game. It's sort of not really a two-person game. I feel like you need more than that to kind of get into it. And if it's two-person, it's going to take you 9 hours to complete this game, probably more. So yeah, like you said, you have to have absolutely nothing else to do. But I do agree. I kind of love getting these. I have a bunch. I have oh my god, I have so many Star Wars versions of this game. I have a few Yankees versions for the baseball team. It's ridiculous, and I have some normal versions too. It's just one of those easy things to buy somebody or to pick up yourself. I'd definitely play this, so that's a good pick.
All right, what else you got for me, man?
I'm checking out my list. I did not open my next one, but I actually have. This is an interesting one. I actually have never seen these before. Some of the younger folks might not even know what this is. It's a VHS lamp. Well, actually just a VHS. You guys don't know what that is. If you don't, you're too young, but just check this out because it's actually a pretty cool retro item. It's for some reason a VHS lamp. I've never heard of this before. Have you heard of one of these?
No, but the second you sent me this, I was like, sold. I'm getting this. I'm putting this on my desk. Putting this on my desk at work because I work in the dark for the most part. So I'm 100% sold. I'm buying this if I don't get it for the holidays. No. This is how I remember watching Jurassic Park for the most part. I mean, I saw it in theaters a bunch when I was a kid, but the VHS, man, it just had to have warped or worn down because I've played it so many times. And the same for the Lost World, So to me, VHS holds a really special place in my heart. You look back and it's nowhere near as clear as Blu-ray or 4K. It's just big, big black boxes, and this one glowing that orange, that amber color. It's so cool.
Yeah, so let me describe it. It's a VHS lamp. Those are words you've probably never heard together before. So what it is kind of it's a VHS tape, which you've seen. In the inside, they put LEDs on the inside, and you can actually choose. You can either select a bunch of different colors. But this is so awesome, and this is so cheap to pick up. And we're in that day where Stranger Things is a huge thing right now. This is giving off those vibes 100%. So retro, so awesome, and I don't know. It's something I never knew I wanted, but now I need it.
Yeah, and kudos to this. I'll call him an artist. For
sure.
They created a cool product. This is something I never would have thought of in a million years to create myself, and I want one so bad for my desk at work.
I know. I just did not even know this was a thing, and I don't even know how I came across it. I think it was on Twitter. I think I liked it and just was like, oh, whoa, what is this? I need this. This is absolutely awesome. So, like you said, this is something you can just put on your desk, set it up there, look at it, and then surprise people. People will be like, oh, what's that? You have a VHS? What's going on there? And then you just flick it on, and you got this cool lamp in your room. I was reading about it. It says it's pretty bright too, so that's cool. Or I think if you have a kid's room or something like that, that's a really cool option for a kid's room too. But this is a strange pickup, but definitely do it. I absolutely love it. So again, I'll put the link in the show notes, but pick this one up for sure.
Yeah, this is totally cool. Thanks for showing me this one.
Yeah, man, I figured you'd like that one. But yeah, on to the next, I guess.
Let's see. The next thing I've got is something old. And I don't even know if you would be able to, always find a specific one. But I put on here, old Jurassic Park comics. They're really cool. As far as like the artwork is concerned, I think the stories are a little bit dated for sure. Because we're talking the 90s and we're talking, Topps Comics, which was not exactly like a major comic publisher back in the day. But the artwork is really cool. And if you're into like framing, comic books and you're into Jurassic Park, I feel like this is like kind of that perfect, marriage of, we were talking today about like, it's really cool that people are doing, their own artwork, right, for this franchise. But these comic books had their own style. And, for instance, like Raptor #1, that is something I would totally love to have, framed and put on my wall. Or, there's a comic with like raptors attacking a helicopter. That's just an awesome image. Like, I don't get why you wouldn't want to have that. The original comic with the T-Rex attacking the car is super cool. If you were able to get a full run, you would also be able to get like a full story that was never told before. I just think they're really cool. And for people that, maybe weren't old enough in the 90s, but are into comic books today, this is kind of a cool flashback, to what I read as a kid after Jurassic Park had come out. And they're not very expensive. You can get full runs for like less than $20. If you want to hunt down collectible paperbacks of compilations, I think you can get those on Amazon. IDW recently published those maybe last year or 2 years ago, like 6 volumes of they called it Jurassic Park Classic or Classic Jurassic Park, one of the two. And it's just I was reading through them and the stories are so weird, and it's just fun and interesting and not that expensive to get as a collector and a fan.
Yeah, I know. I'm scrolling through these, and yeah, they're super cheap, some of them. And, I've seen a lot of these already, but like you said, it's well worth picking up just to, like, hang up. I actually never thought about that before, like framing it, put it on the wall. I frequent a comic book shop all the time, and they actually do have a few Jurassic Park comics in there. Nothing like no like full runs or anything like that. So I always hesitate because I'm like, I maybe I'll find eventually like just a place where I can pick up the full run instead of piecing it together and not knowing what I picked up and always forgetting, because I constantly forget what I already bought comic wise. And actually before we started this, I'm like, oh man, I picked up 2 of the same comics. My bad. So that happens to me a lot. But but if you can, actually try to go out to a comic shop and see if they have these. It might be rare. It might be hard to find, first off, a comic shop, but also might be hard to find these in the shop because they are kind of, old at this point. But check it out first because those places need your support,
Yeah, the last time I think I found actual Jurassic Park comics in a comic shop that weren't like the newer runs, so I'm talking more the classic ones. I was in college, so we're talking 2003, 2004, and
yeah,
it was definitely a rare thing to find that even then. So now I'm sure it's even a little more rare. But sometimes a lot of the comic stores, because they know they can't sell them individually, they'll hunt down the rest of the collection and then they'll sell them for a little bit of an up price as a whole run. But if you can get the whole run, you get all that artwork, you get the full story. And we're not talking about just a retelling of the movies. That there is that. I'm talking like the weird random offshoots of Raptor and Return to Jurassic Park and all those other random stories that have kind of been sourced out. If you reread those, they actually took, those comics actually provided some source material for Jurassic World, which I found really, really interesting.
Yeah, and just looking through these all, the one thing that like really stands out to me is the artwork, like you said, but also the logo, like the Jurassic Park logo itself. There's a standard logo here, but there's also like, they switch from red to yellow, and then they actually have like Jurassic Park Adventures with like a different, tagline underneath. They have Return to Jurassic Park with like different red fonts and stuff like that. Silver, like more metallic-y, not like the Jurassic World one, but like looks straight like metal. It looks awesome. And some actually with no logos on them at all, but I think, like you said, it's worth picking up for the artwork and the logos themselves because they're really awesome looking.
Yeah, I think if, as a Jurassic Park fan, if you were to ask for these, or if you had a friend that was really into Jurassic Park, even if they, already had this issue, from when they were a kid, nowadays the ones that you would buy are probably in better condition than the ones they already have, and a fan's going to really appreciate these.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I would love it. I need these. And it's kind of like something like you put on your list. I think I mentioned this kind of last year. Is like sometimes people look at your list and they're like, I'm not gonna buy that. You know, why would I buy that for somebody? It's just like it's a cheap thing. It's I don't know. Like I remember a few years ago, I put like posters on my Christmas list, and I remember my brother-in-law was like, I saw your list. I was gonna buy you like this dinosaur poster you have, but I bought you this instead because I didn't know what that was. I'm like, well, I put it on there. I like it. I like these comics. I like posters. Pick them up. You know, like don't be afraid. These are awesome.
That's actually a really funny story. I had a similar situation with my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law got me some movie posters, and they were really awesome, man. They were like, it was like for Terminator Genesis, but it was one of those things, you know, he was new to the family and he didn't really know me. So he kind of got out of, maybe I'll say like out of his comfort zone. He's not a huge movie guy, I don't think, but you know, he got me something I really appreciated. I got like he got me what was it? It was Terminator Genesis. No, not Genesis. Terminator Salvation, and he got me a Joker poster. And man, those are really cool. Those are, you know, I still have those with me.
Yeah, actually, now that you were talking, I had a chance to think. It was actually the posters that I asked for that year. It was it must have been 2015 because I asked for, I think I put like a link to eBay or something like that, or some, I forget where it was from, but it was that Mark Englert poster, the Jurassic World one with the, you know, the upside down explorer with a raptor on top. Mm-hmm. But also, and then another poster, it was awesome, so awesome. I find it even cooler, to be honest. It was a poster for The Good Dinosaur, but it was that same poster. It was the Mark Englert poster, but for The Good Dinosaur, had like the dinosaur from that movie on top of like a vehicle. It was so awesome. I wanted that so bad, but it's like it looks like a kid's thing, and I guess he's like, I don't know, I'm not gonna pick that up for him. This guy's 30. What does he want this for?
I get it. He didn't get like the symbolism behind that poster like the homage or whatever. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's the holidays. You know, get people what they would want. You know, like you know, I respect the heck out of my brother-in-law for getting me those things because I know that he didn't really know me at the time. He didn't really have to put really any thought into a gift, but he definitely found something that I would enjoy, and that's what the holidays are about. You know.
Yeah. Whose turn is it? My turn or is it your turn? I forget where we are. You just
I just did comic books, so I think it's your turn.
Oh yeah, it's my turn. Okay, so my next one is actually like a batch of a few things, a few items, because I didn't want to just single it on one, because these are actually things that I've been picking up a lot myself recently. It's like, I don't know, I feel like with fandoms you kind of go through waves of items and stuff like that. Like currently, and for the past few years, obviously, like Funko Pops have been a big thing. But like right now, I feel like enamel pins are like a huge item that a lot of places, like places like Mondo and other places, fans and different artists and stuff are creating their own, and they're theming them to different movies and stuff. So I'm like, well, let me just put a whole bunch of them. I wanted to feature a few different artists here and kind of get a few different takes. So if you wanted to pick up one, or you didn't like this one or that one, you could choose from a few. So here, enamel pins, you know, they're typical pins like you'd pick up. Like if you're a fan of like Disney, you have like pin traders and stuff like that. Essentially, that's what these are. Nice little pins with the, the clasp back and stuff. I've actually picked up a few. I'll start off with those ones first, actually. You've all probably seen like these Mondo pins that were out recently. They actually replicate the paddock signs, which are really awesome. Like, the pin itself is only the like the symbol or the logo of like the individual paddocks. So I have a Brachiosaurus one here, has Isla Nublar on the back, and same thing for the Dilophosaurus with the island on the back. And then it comes in this cool like stand that actually looks like the full outline of a sign. So it's
the
really
stand
awesome.
Is like the concrete pillar from the film. Yeah, it's really cool.
So I have two of these already. I mean, there's actually 5 of them that you can pick up. They actually, what do they have? They have T-Rex, Triceratops. What's the? I didn't open it up, of course. I think a raptor.
Well, they have all of them except for the one dinosaur
claw
that no one ever remembers is in that film, which is the Gallimimus.
You said they have the Gallimimus or no?
No, that's the one that like no one ever remembers that's in the movie. And so like there's never been like there's not even a skeleton design for the Gallimimus. Like the Gallimimus logo for the paddock is literally just the silhouette of a skin covered Gallimimus. Like everyone else gets cool like bones, Gallimimus gets nothing.
Well, these ones are really awesome. Yeah, these are the bone like outlines. Triceratops one actually, yeah, I guess it's bones. But then the raptor gets a sickle claw like foot there. There's like red colors, some are yellow, some are red and yellow, and these are $40. You could pick them up. You can pick up 5 for $40. I got to be honest, I feel like the inventory on this is probably pretty slim at this point because they've been on sale for a long time, and I know like a lot of the Mondo stuff goes out of print essentially pretty quickly. So, pick these up if you get the chance because they're really awesome. The next one here actually, this is from Love Art Club. I'll put a link in the show notes, of course. It's the night vision goggles. This one is $10. So all these are around about the same price, which is great. They're really easy to pick up. Cheap shipping because they're tiny, and I think it doesn't, oh no, it does say here, the lenses on these actually spin. So it's like it's got the cool feature of just the enamel pin, but it also spins as well. So that's a really cool feature there. The next one I have here is from Ursa Major Supply. And I have this one actually. Oh, actually, you know what? I think I did pick up those goggles the other day, so they should be on the way. But so nobody get me those. I already have them. The next one I do actually have myself is this Ursa Major Supply pin. It's actually it's not technically like Jurassic Park, but it is. Let's be honest. It's a piece of amber, kind of like cool, like cell shaded looking thing with a mosquito in the middle. What is that kind of word? Middle.
In the middle.
So yeah, I just love this one so much. I don't know why. It's very, very cool, cartoony in a way, but really awesome. And yeah, like I said, it's not like, oops, I'm dropping stuff over here. It's not like officially like Jurassic branded or anything, like maybe the Mondo pins, but it is really cool, the one to pick up. Let's see, what's another one I have? Oh, this one here. Let's see, this is from Soar Winners. You can pick this one up on Etsy. Also $10. It's the tour vehicle, so the Explorer. That one looks really awesome. Not much to describe. It's a tour vehicle, so it's easy to think about there. Pick that one up. It's really awesome. I don't know if you got a chance to look at that one or not.
Yeah, I'm looking at all of them. The enamel pins I didn't realize was like a new kind of trendy little thing to get. I have the enamel pin of the Cryo Can by Patty LaPel, and that's really cool because when you open it up, there's like little embryos inside. Like it flips open.
Yeah,
and
I think
then
I've
there's
seen
like
that
the little
one, actually.
embryos. Yeah, it's really cool. I'm gonna pick these up. For Jurassic June this coming year. I want to do a thing at work where I just wear a Jurassic Park thing every day for 30 days.
Yeah.
And I only have 15 shirts, so this will help me cover some of those bases. As the month goes on, I'll get these, and I didn't put this on my list as far as things I think because I don't think about them, but there's all kinds of Jurassic clothing this year. There's there's a really cool Jurassic Park shirt that has Jurassic Park written in Chinese and Japanese. There's Target has the Jurassic Park underwear that looks like the like Muldoon shorts or whatever. They've got Jurassic Park underwear that just have the logo all over them. I picked up T-Rex socks at Target that had they were Jurassic Park licensed. So there's just all kinds of cool fun stuff going around that you can pick up.
Yeah, there's so much. And Target, it's been a good source for Jurassic Park stuff. I think they have a lunchbox and a thermos now, which is pretty cool.
What?
Yeah, dude. They've got a Jurassic Park lunchbox, so I'm sure that's cheap enough. That's going to be an easy one to pick up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And they actually, I think it was floating around Twitter. They actually have a really cool new design for a T-shirt, and I did not find it. I went there the other day as soon as I found out about it, and it wasn't there. Whether it was sold out or not there yet, I'm gonna assume it wasn't there yet. It looks kind of new, and it was only online, so let's hope that comes to the store soon. But
it'll turn up in stores. I tried ordering it here to Toronto because we don't have Target anymore in the actual brick and mortar anymore in Canada. So
in Canada, there's none.
No, they all closed up.
Oh man, that's
they
crazy.
still haven't. Yeah, it's a bummer. But I tried ordering the shirt, and the shirt's only like $9, but then the shipping was like $30. I was like, oh no.
God, but jeez, man, that's crazy.
I know, just to get it like over the border. I'm like, I think I'll go to the States, put it on, and just wear it back.
Oh God. But wrapping up these pins, man, these are really easy to pick up, super cheap. You can put them on like a backpack. You can wear them to work or something on your shirt, like you said. Put them on like a lanyard if you want. I'm thinking about actually like getting like a big cork board and just like essentially putting these all up on a cork board. I get a lot of pins through Loot Crate and stuff too, so I got a lot of pins to put up there. I think I'm gonna like start a habit here. I think this is pretty bad. I'm just gonna like insanely like buy all of these. It's bad news for me.
Yeah, I'm always jealous of the people doing the pin trading at Disney, and
Yeah.
I think the only reason I can't bring myself to do it is I don't get me wrong, I love Disney, but like the pins are like a lot of cash to like get going. But then like the idea of getting a pin you love and then like having to trade it away, it's like no, that's not for me.
Yeah.
But I think enamel pins are really, really cool.
Yeah, I think they're like a little badge of honor. They're something you throw on yourself or your backpack or something like that, and I just love it. I think they're really cool. And like I said, I hope it's not like too much of a fad right now, but I think they're awesome. So do you have anything else on your list?
Yeah, I think I got a couple things here. I'm sorry, I actually looked at this lunchbox on Target, and it's like I think I'm gonna order it like later today. It's super cool.
Well, the shipping's gonna be $90, so heads up.
Yeah, no. So let's see. I have a couple things on my list. Do you have anything else on yours?
I do, yeah.
Okay, well then.
Do you want me to go first?
We'll just keep going. No, you did what? You just did pins, right? I'll do this one. So I actually got one of these last year for Christmas from my grandmother, and it is on Amazon. If you just type in Jurassic Park blanket, you will get a bunch of blankets that are Jurassic Park. Now, some of them are licensed, but the one that I got and that I absolutely love is like the tapestry throw, and it has the Jurassic Park logo just on it. Now, I don't think it's licensed by Universal or anything, but I can attest, as someone who has now had it for a year, it looks exactly the same today as it did last year when I got it. So the inks have not faded out yet. It's just really, really cool. I use it at work. It's kind of different because no one has a Jurassic Park blanket, right? Except for this lunatic over here. But it looks really cool at work. I ended up bringing it home at one point because I kind of cleared out. I accumulate stuff at work, so I just brought a bunch of stuff home, and right now it's hanging off the back of our couch in my living room, which I have not been told to put away yet, and I think it's because it kind of matches our living room.
Oh,
so
good.
I've not been told to put that away. But yeah, it's really, really cool. If you're into that kind of stuff, it's nice to have extra blankets, I think, for when guests come over or just if you're lounging around. And to me, there's no better logo to cover your body with than the Jurassic Park classic logo.
I think that's good. I liked it. You sent me the link for that. It looks warm. It looks comfy. I like the logo. It's a good logo, right?
It's as classic as ever. So I would actually love to get it. This is so dumb. I would love to get an entire set for like one for every movie, but I don't know if that's a realistic. I don't know if that's a realistic desire.
Now, yeah, you talked about putting the posters on your wall. You hang all those throws on the wall. I think you could do it, man. It'd be a dark room though. It'd look very dark.
So much black and silver and black and gray. But anyway, I thought I would throw that on there. Not that I want another one this year for the holidays, but I did get it last year, and it's still like I absolutely love it. It's one of the things I use on a daily basis. So what's next on your list?
All right, so this is the last item I have on my list, and a lot of people have probably heard about this already. I think I talked about it recently, or probably a few times. But it's actually from our buddy Derek with Paradise Collectibles Group. And also, I guess, along with Chronicle Collectibles, but it's the John Hammond cane. So this is like a one-to-one replica. It's got a hanging mount, so you can actually hang it up on the wall. It's got the Jurassic Park logo in the back on the mount. But it's legit like the same thing. It's the cane from the movie. It's got the amber. It's got a mosquito in there. It looks like weathered and worn. It's awesome. I think it's a great piece. One of I think like the better looking like Chronicle, you know, pieces that are out there, or just collectible pieces in general, really. It's $249.99. So it's really not that bad, to be honest. Like, it's pretty manageable compared to other collectibles, high-end collectibles. You can actually, of course, you can do these payment plans that a lot of these places have. So it's like 2, 3, 6 months or full price. And yeah, I think it's a really cool looking piece. And you know, if you're a fan, I think you got to have it.
Yeah, you know, I was looking at that and it reminds me of there's a Game of Thrones sword that you can buy. I don't know the name. I like Game of Thrones, but first off, I'm terrible with the names, and I'm definitely bad with the names of swords. But there's an episode of The Big Bang Theory that revolves around them like getting this sword, and they like hang it in their apartment like with pride and like it's like this point of like valor for them. And I'm like, yeah, there's nothing more passive, you know, compared to a cool Game of Thrones sword than having an old man's cane, you know, hung up on your wall. But I'm not that cool, so I would totally put this on my wall.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, there might be a chance where you go for the walk, you know, a casual walk here and there, and you might like say, I could use a little support, and you go ahead, you bring it with you, or if it's like Halloween or something. But really, it's a showpiece. You put it up on your wall, display it, put it in the corner of a room or something like that. It's such an awesome piece. Looks legit to me. Seen a lot of pictures of it, so it looks like a great piece. So yeah, that's on my list. And most of my items, pretty much all my items, have been like real cheap, real easy to pick up. This one might be a little bit harder, but you know, with these payment plans and stuff like that, it's super easy.
I wish I had this when I worked on Jurassic World, because I would have pointed out like all my critiques. I would have pointed them out with the cane on the monitor. Oh, that'd have been so good.
Oh God. Yeah, everybody would have thought you were crazy for sure.
Well, everyone thinks I'm crazy anyway, but you know, whatever. All right, so is that the last thing on your list?
That is the last one, yeah.
Okay, so I've got one thing that I would definitely love, and I got two things that are super crazy stretches. All right.
Okay.
The one thing that I would absolutely love, and I think is a great gift for any collector. Last year, I said, get Jurassic Park fans Kenner Coelophysis out of the box, right? Because the Kenner Coelophysis, I said, is kind of like, you can never have too many. Well, I'm back with another Kenner toy that I don't think you can have. You could never have too many, and that is the Night Lost World Kenner Parasaurolophus. And the reason I say you can never have too many is because they were in herds in the movie, and I think I'm up to like 6 or 7, and I would love to get like 20 of these things, and they're still like not badly priced. They're like $24. I think they were like $15 or $20 new in '97. So, you know, $24, $20, $21, $19, $17, and you know, for me, as long as I have one that works, you know, for like my collection, the rest of them they can have battery corrosion on the inside. I don't really care, but you know, for collectors of the Kenner stuff, I think the Parasaur or the Parasaurolophus is definitely something I don't have too much of.
Yeah, you know, to be honest, I only have one, and it's one that I recently picked up, like not that many months ago, and I never had this one before.
Oh, you need more. You need more, Brad. You need like 10.
I think you're right. I think I need a few more to go up on my shelf here. They're so manageable. They're so small, you know, pretty small compared to some of the other bigger dinosaurs. I am more so mid-range, I guess, but yeah, it's a really beautiful piece between the colors on the face and the back and everything. It looks really great,
and it looks legit. Like we've said it before on the podcast, it looks legit like the Crash McCreary. 2D rendering
for sure.
You know, so I'll leave that there. And speaking of Crash McCreary, here comes my two long shots. The first one is the Chronicle Collectibles Baby Raptors. I think these are absolutely awesome. I know that the Breakout Rex got a lot of flack for the paint job, but what I've said in our Breakout Rex review, the one thing I'm excited about with these is these were black and white drawings originally, and this is like a 3D sculpt of those baby raptors from the Crash McCreary artwork. They're absolutely beautiful as far as like what they're showing on the website. I'm sure quality might come down a little bit, but still, because we've never seen these in an actual movie, you know, there's room for interpretation. There's room for some mistake as far as like, you know, the paint goes. I think they're really cool. They're really cute. I would love something like that. Chronicle, I'm in Canada, so they have them listed at $650, shipping first quarter of 2018, which I'm sure will get delayed at some point. But they're super cool. The only thing that would make them, I think, even like, I'm not even gonna say better, but another, like, they could do like a variant where they could actually like make them black and white, like shading like the actual Crash McCreary artwork.
Yeah.
And the other long shot is the Chronicle Collectibles Indominus Rex, which I'm looking here is selling for $800. There's a lot of there's a lot of controversy around this figure, especially because, it looks great on its own, but ultimately it's designed to go with a companion piece, which is going to be T-Rex and Blue, which is going to, I'm assuming, run another $800.
Yeah.
That's quite a bit for a collectible, but it never hurts to ask. I'll never get it as a gift, but it never hurts to ask. So
it'll be
I'm
that
throwing
one
it on
item. It stays on your
I'm
list.
throwing it on there as
Yeah.
the Hail Mary. Yeah, like we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think it looks really cool. And again, who knows? The quality might come down as the Breakout Rex ones did. Again, we rated that kind of in an 8 or a 9 just because of the low, the hit they took in paint quality from from the stills they showed versus what they actually delivered. But the one I got was fine enough, and it's something I would, I might pick up another Chronicle item, here and there depending on my money situation. But $800 is a bit steep, but this Indominus looks really, really cool.
Yeah, that's a good point though you made on the Raptors, because we never had an official thing to compare them to really in like a film. With the Breakout Rex, there's obviously a lot of reference to go off of, and especially with, I guess they could do the same with these Raptors if they I forget what did they release so far? Did they release a finalized concept of it or not? I forget, like a finalized image.
Chronicle. Yeah, so they've released production images of what they're aiming for. Again, I think it always looks better.
Yeah,
the prototype always looks better than what you get. So, who knows? I think the sculpts are really cool. They're dead on.
But it could it could go down, and it should probably still be acceptable because there's not too much to compare it to. As far as the Indominus goes, that's tough. And isn't that thing huge? I forget what the dimensions are, but I feel like those were huge. That's sort of my problem with a lot of Chronicle pieces, are that they're just so big. And I kind of want something a little bit smaller. I can't justify giant items, but a lot of them are really good looking. Some of them not so much, but you can take what you can get, I guess.
Yeah, the Indominus is 60 inches long, or no, I'm sorry, 60. It's 30 inches long, and I think they were saying that when you put this with the T-Rex, that it's going to create a diorama that's around 70 inches. Does that seem? That seems a bit crazy, but maybe not too off. And to be honest with you, if you have not picked this up yet and you actually like these Chronicle collectible statues, but you just can't afford them, if you can hunt down the Jurassic World Blu-ray box set that's got the statues in it, I think Amazon still has some for $60. Those statues are leaps and bounds better than the statue that came with the Jurassic Park Blu-ray release.
Oh yeah,
those statues are actually really good. Those bookend statues, they're really, really good. I had those on my desk for a while. They're beautiful for the price point that they were released at.
Oh yeah, I have those. I think the Indominus looks a bit better than the T-Rex, but they're pretty nice. I like them a lot. I think they're nice little pieces.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you got the money, go for Chronicle. If you don't, get that Blu-ray set. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So is that's all on your list, right? That's it.
That clears me out for my wish list for this holiday season. Again, we didn't have too many new releases. We got a lot coming next year. Next year is going to be a good year for Jurassic fans, but this year was a little sparse. But I think we found some cool stuff, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'll probably stick to it again next year. I think by the time next year rolls around, Fallen Kingdom will have been out for a long time, probably on DVD already, and I think the fan art and a lot of that stuff will step it up leaps and bounds and have some really cool new stuff to base art off of. So I like I've done this year, I'm really excited to see where friends and people in the community and artists and stuff like that take it, when it comes to the new material. But at least for now, we have a few more items to go over here. We actually, aside from us giving you our opinions as to what you should get or put on your lists, a lot of you actually came to us and said, we'd like these things. So we reached out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and we have a few items here that you guys want. So let's start over here on Twitter. Master Builder 164 here says, I'm saving up all my money for the Jurassic Park anniversary items. So yeah, that's certainly fair. Like we said, there's a lot of really cool items, and a lot of them haven't been released yet. Some have. I think a lot of people are picking up that coin. I was going to say poster again. It's not a poster. It's a calendar.
No, so I'm excited. The 25th anniversary stuff, it is coming out. There's the coin that I think a lot of people already have. I know at first I wasn't interested in the coin, but then I was like, all right, whatever. Let's see how much it costs. And I couldn't find one in stock anywhere. There's a little golden book coming out next year. There's all kinds of 25th anniversary stuff coming out. So that's really, really exciting.
Yeah, the golden book is one that I absolutely need to get. Like that's the number one. I don't care about most of the other stuff, but I need that little golden book.
Oh yeah, I already know that I'm getting at least 3 or 4 copies, like for different people. There's golden books are cheap. Golden books are like less than $10. So like, why wouldn't you get that?
Yeah, it's necessary, I feel like. Daniel Steven here on Twitter again says, I've had the same framed pic of Owen and his bike on the living room wall for more than 2 years. Time for a change, and but obviously I hope for anything Jurassic. So really just, I guess just hoping for something, to be honest.
He'll take what he can get.
Yeah. But yeah, I think sometimes you need to like refresh, you have something on the wall for a while and you look at it so much, you're like, maybe I should move it, put something new there. So we submitted a lot of options for you for your wall. Fishing with Dom here says he wants the mobile command center. So that's admirable. Like a lot of us want that.
That's a collectible that you definitely ask for it. If someone gets it for you and it's missing a few pieces, you can always find those pieces on eBay. If you can't get it for the holidays, man, hunt that down. That thing's awesome.
Jurassic Al, he's pretty straightforward. He just wants a trailer. A trailer would be nice, he says. So that would be nice, and I think we'll definitely have it by then. So happy holidays.
my mind went to like the Lost World trailer. I'm like, yeah, I want a trailer too. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, he also wants. That's 2 guys with the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Lexiani says, let's see. Get some cool dinosaur toys, books, etc., and the 25th anniversary JP calendar.
Yeah, people loving the calendar.
Yeah, it's not necessarily on my list. I'd rather almost have like some of that cool artwork we talked about, but I think it's perfectly acceptable. Pick that thing up. Patrick here says he wants the Lost World Jurassic Park Bull T-Rex, Thrasher T-Rex, Mobile Command Center, Sarah Harding, and Triceratops. So that's a pretty big list there, dude.
That's a big list, man. You might have better luck getting a time machine and going back and getting it. 'Cause that's tough. That's Sarah Harding, man. She's a tough one to find.
Yeah, and for sure. And also it depends on how much like whoever you're asking, like how much they want to spend, because that's gonna be quite a bit of money, to be honest. Like you're talking like probably like. I mean, sometimes these things go for a lot on eBay, like $100 for like a Bull T-Rex. I've seen like $80 for a Thrasher. Mobile Command Center, I don't even know what that goes for anymore. It has to be at least $100 at least. And the rest, I'm not sure.
Oh, I think you're looking at least $200. But
yeah,
then again, I asked for an $800 Indominus Rex. So
that's true.
He's probably got a better shot than I do.
I think that's it from Twitter. Let's see. Instagram. Let's see what they said. Corey Crop here says some money towards finishing Jurassic Calf, my dinosaur Jurassic Park tattoo tribute. That's a really good idea. I've always thought about like putting like tattoo money on my list, but I doubt people will get that for me because I need to like continue my habit here. I only have one, so it's not really a habit, I guess, but. It's something I've wanted to continue, so that's a really good one to put on your list.
I so badly want a Jurassic Park tattoo. The problem is that I don't trust any artist to do it as amazingly as I like think it should look in my head. So like I know they do a bunch of drafts and they like you have to approve the artwork and all that stuff, but I still don't trust that in the heat of the moment or just in the like I twitch something, I twitch weird or something like that, and like the needle just askew or whatever, and like messes up my artwork, and then it's just bad artwork on my body forever. I really want one, but I don't have the guts to go through
like
with it.
Malcolm has like a crooked nose or something like that on your leg. Oh, poor guy.
Yeah. Oh, the worst.
Godzilla Petty here says sweatshirt. So that's a unique one.
You can get sweatshirts online. I've seen
true. That's very true. And you know what? They actually have those like Christmas ones. I have one. I have a Jurassic World like Christmas sweatshirt. So go ahead, pick that up. That's actually a great pickup. I wear it all the time, even when it's not Christmas. So you got to do what you got to do, C Lane Photography here says the 25th anniversary calendar. So, again, another good one to pick up. And lastly here, Facebook, Matt says, well, guess what? He says 25th anniversary calendar. Other than that, I'm just upset there hasn't been any JP toys announced with Christmas just around the corner. That's a fair point. You kind of think like it could be like a Christmas time kind of announcement or something like that, but we haven't heard anything about Mattel toys yet, so we're just gonna have to sit here and wait.
I know Mattel is diving into the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom stuff right now, but man, how awesome would it have been if this last June they would have released like a 25th anniversary, or even like this coming year, like a 25th anniversary toy line just for the holiday, just in time for the holidays, and then let that line run for 6 to 12 months, and then bring out the Fallen Kingdom stuff later on the line. That would have been really cool.
But
you're
right.
Who knows? We'll see what we get in the future.
Yeah, and I mean, we haven't had the trailer yet. There's been some slight rumblings and stuff like that, and it's definitely going to be here in December. So by Christmas, I don't think there's going to be any kind of toys or 25th anniversary toys, but at least by Christmas. But that would be a really nice surprise. That would be so awesome. Like a retro line. That would be so great.
Man, a retro line in like red and black boxes, so good. That'd be so
awesome.
Good.
That would be amazing. And yeah, I don't think that's going to come by Christmas, but yeah, that would be a nice surprise. Christian here says, I would like some money so I could get Jurassic World Evolution when it comes out. But the real answer would probably be any Jurassic Park / Jurassic World apparel. So yeah, that's a good point to throw some money aside for when Jurassic World Evolution comes out. I'm sure it'll probably be like what, $60, $70 typical video game price. But yeah, that's a good thing, I guess, to set some money aside and for now, I guess, get some sweatshirts.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. I remember when The Lost World came out as a book, I was a kid, and I instantly started saving my allowance money for when the movie got made. I didn't even know there was going to be a movie happening. I just assumed, right, because Jurassic Park was huge in the 90s. And, the book came out, and I was like, all right, I'm going to start saving my money because I know that Kenner's going to have a bunch of toys. There's going to be the VHSs. There's going to be beach towels, lunch boxes, all kinds of stuff. So it's not a bad idea to start saving now for when that Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom stuff hits.
For sure. So that's about it. That wraps up our lists and everybody else's comments online. And like I said, we're going to have all this stuff in our show notes on our website, JurassicParkPodcast.com. You can find everybody's links and everything. So head there, check it out. And Aaron, where can everybody find you?
You guys can all find me at Aaron D. Beyer over on Twitter. Haven't been too active lately, but hey, if you tweet at me about Jurassic Park stuff, I'll always get back to you. You can also look me up on IMDb to see what movies I've been working on. I don't know if I've updated it recently. I always have problems doing that. I think the most recent projects I've worked on have been I worked on Blade Runner 2049 in 3D. I think that's still in theaters. And the most recent project I worked on was Thor Ragnarok. I worked on that one in 3D, so everyone's really excited about that.
Such an awesome movie. I absolutely love that movie so much. Like,
yeah, it was really good.
Sticks in my head so much. Oh, so good.
Hulk in the Roman gladiator outfit, man. Oh, dude, so
that's
good.
That's the best. So good. But yeah, that's that about wraps it up. And if anybody wants to hear more of you, you're obviously on the podcast all the time. So check it out and
all the time.
And support these awesome artists and the official stuff. That'll let Universal know we're hungry for more. So support everybody. It's been a good time, and I think the holidays this year are going to be great.
Yeah, man, it's going to be awesome. But I'll leave it at that, man. You have a happy holiday.
You too. Take it easy.
See ya.
Make sure to visit JurassicParkPodcast.com to find all our past episodes, brand new news articles, information on how to contact us, and much more. It's a great source for everything related to the podcast, and of course, Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. Head to JurassicParkPodcast.com and help us build a great community.
Anybody hear that?
Thanks for listening to the 126th episode of the Jurassic Park Podcast. Of course, a big thanks to Arjun for another great installment of Extinction Level Jurassic Park. We learned a ton about the evolution of dinosaurs from even before the original park, specifically the raptors. There was a ton of interesting details, so I hope you all listened intently and enjoyed it. I really can't forget to thank Aaron Beyer for sitting down with me and sifting through all the officially licensed stuff, the amazing stuff that's created, handmade by awesome artists in the community. We hope you liked all the items that we picked out, so head to our show notes, see the pictures, click the links, and go buy some of that stuff. Support these artists and the official stuff as well, so we get more stuff coming our way in the future. Also, thanks to everybody who sent in responses to that segment as well. You are all super awesome, and I hope you get everything you wished for. If you want to interact with us, we do most of our work over on Twitter, @JurassicParkPod. We're also on Facebook at facebook.com/Jurassic Park Podcast, and our Instagram handle is @Jurassic Park Podcast. You can listen to us via iTunes, Google Play, Podomatic, YouTube, our website, or wherever else podcasts are found. So make sure to subscribe to automatically get new episodes every week. If you haven't already, please give us a 5-star review in iTunes or a great review wherever you listen to the podcast. It will seriously help out our rankings and make it easier for fans like you to find us. We're usually spotted commenting on the Jurassic Park subreddit as Jurassic Park Podcast. Don't forget to check out JurassicParkPodcast.com for all the links you heard here today. If you want to get a hold of us, you can email us with any news stories, MP3s, comments, or if you want to debut a segment of your own, send them to JurassicParkPod@gmail.com. Or you can submit questions directly on our website contact form. If you'd like to record something for the show, send it in to us and we'll feature it in an upcoming episode. If you don't have any way to record, you can give our voicemail line a call and leave us a message. That number is 732-825-7763. Thanks for listening, and enjoy.
No, I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
5 minutes. Drop what you're doing and leave now.